Welcome to the Property Code. I'm your host, Nick. Today, we explore how real estate developers make money in 2025 by following the journey of Sophia, a former urban planner who saw an opportunity to transform underutilized land into thriving mixed-use communities. Along the way, we'll unpack the key revenue streams and emerging trends that distinguish successful developers in our era. Sophia's story begins in early spring when she took a familiar 2-hour commute out of the city to visit a block of obsolete warehouses. The nearby office towers were filling up again as hybrid work sent demand back to downtown cores, but the industrial zone had been left behind. As she walked past graffiti-stained walls and boarded-up windows, she pictured loft apartments buzzing with tenants and ground-floor cafes serving remote workers drawn by affordable rents. That vision was her spark. She recognized that real estate development thrives where others see decay. Her first obstacle was assembling capital. Unlike purchasing a rental property with personal savings, a development project requires multiple funding sources. Sophia formed a limited liability company with 2 partners, a construction manager and a finance specialist. Together, they raised equity through a combination of family office investments and a small offering to accredited investors via a real estate crowdfunding platform. In 2025, such platforms have matured, allowing developers to source up to 50% of project equity online, often in increments as low as $5,000 per investor. This democratization of development funding gave Sophia the scale she needed without relying solely on high net worth backers. Once equity was secured, Sophia negotiated a construction loan with a regional bank, leveraging the strong demand signals from her AI-driven market analysis. These analytics had identified a 10% annual rent growth trajectory for adaptive reuse projects near transit hubs. By presenting detailed projections, she obtained a loan covering 70% of hard costs at a floating rate linked to the 10-year Treasury plus 2%. Her partners agreed that the equity cushion would protect against rate fluctuations, a lesson Sophia learned from studying the most common search query in her field, how real estate business works, which shows that understanding financing structures is paramount. With financing in place, Sophia moved into the entitlement phase. Her urban planning background proved invaluable as she navigated zoning approvals, community outreach sessions, and environmental impact studies. In 2025, municipalities increasingly demand sustainable design and community benefits. Sophia's proposal included green roofs, public art installations, and a commitment to affordable studio units comprising 15% of total residential area. These concessions not only satisfied regulators, but also unlocked density bonuses, enabling an additional 5,000 square feet of leasable space without increasing land cost. Groundbreaking day arrived under a clear autumn sky. The project's revenue model rested on 3 pillars. First, residential sales. Half of the loft units were pre-sold to owner-occupiers at a slight premium, providing early cash flow and reducing sales risk. Second, long-term leases. The remaining units were offered as condos for rent under 2-year leases with market rate escalations tied to local consumer price index changes. Third, commercial income. The ground floor housed 2 small retailers and a co-working cafe that paid base rent plus a percentage of gross sales, aligning tenant success with Sophia's returns. Construction unfolded over 18 months, with Sophia's team using modular components and local prefab factories to accelerate schedules and manage labor costs. They saved roughly 8% on hard cost line items by batching orders and deploying on-site drones for real-time progress monitoring. In 2025, these PropTech efficiencies are a real competitive advantage, allowing developers to mitigate material price volatility and labor shortages. During construction, Sophia's finance partner secured a forward sale contract for the pre-sold units, guaranteeing 80% of projected sales price upon completion. This arrangement reduced overall financing costs by enabling early paydown of part of the construction loan. It also demonstrated to the bank that Sophia's project had committed buyers, strengthening trust and ensuring smoother draw inspections. When the first units were ready, Sophia organized a virtual launch event using augmented reality renderings. Prospective buyers could tour the space from anywhere in the country, choosing finishes and custom layouts in real time. That innovation generated pre-sales for an additional 10% of units above the initial goal and pushed selling prices up by an average of 2%. In 2025, digital showrooms have become standard practice for developers seeking to maximize sell-out velocity and capture premium pricing. By project closeout, Sophia's team had achieved a net internal rate of return near 20% on equity and an overall profit margin of 15% on total project cost. After repaying the construction loan, distributing preferred returns to investors, and covering fees and taxes, Sophia's development company retained a healthy share of the upside. Her next steps involve recycling capital into a larger mixed-use project across the riverfront, where new light rail extensions promise similar demand dynamics. Sophia's journey highlights the primary ways developers make money in 2025, raising diverse equity pools, securing cost-effective construction,